Welcome back to the Professional Lovers channel for the finale. I'm Al.
I'm Patty, and we are
the Professional Lovers.
Here to talk about Decision Day.
Decision Day.
And boy, it was surprising. On a couple of fronts.
Yeah.
Surprising as to who said yes and who said no. I mean, not complete surprises, but and then a first on Married at First Sight since I've been watching, which has been from season 1.
Yes, no.
Yeah. So
Wait, yes, never mind.
First changed my mind. First couple, Stasha and Nate.
Mm-hmm. Which, going back to, or were you going to reference it?
Go ahead.
Going back to season 1, or not season 1, excuse me, episode 1.
Right.
When we made kind of pseudo...
doing our couple of the week and red flag couple.
Right. And who may, from what we observed on that first day,
mm-hmm.
who we thought might get through the process. And your pick was...
Stasha and Nate.
Who did?
So, it was funny though, because it's like, who brings a bouquet of flowers to a situation where you're going to say no?
One of divorce, here's some flowers.
So, they could have fooled us. But they both said yes.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, are you glad about that?
Yeah. No,
I'm kind of glad about that.
Because I think it relates back to what we were talking about last week when, you have 90% positive and 10% question, and again, you only had 8 weeks to get through to the point that you've gotten through. So if you can gain 90% in 8 weeks, whatever that 10% is what you just need to work on to get you closer to 100%. And even if you don't get to 100%, is it worth 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10% worth throwing away everything? I don't think so.
So, they felt like they had enough to build on, and I do too.
I agree.
So, we're glad that they made it through.
Definitely.
And became first couple to stay together. And they both have things to work on, and they know that. And that's going to continue throughout the relationship.
Definitely.
It never gets to a point
That's for sure.
where you have nothing to work on.
But that sounds like perfection. Is there such a thing?
Nope.
No, I didn't think so.
But perfect for you.
A perfect
and perfect for me.
A perfect effort.
Yeah.
Moving toward whatever your goal is. Better. So.
Okay, so couple number 2.
Lingel?
No. Alexis and Justin.
Oh. Okay. That
Alexis
was my
and
choice.
Justin. Right. After episode number 1.
Yeah. That was
and
my hope.
It could have been.
Yeah.
Because they both said yes.
They said yes. Yes.
And then 10 minutes later, they were in their recurring argument.
Did you really mean it?
And at that point, I do think that Justin was gaslighting Alexis.
He sabotaged the whole situation.
He created a self-fulfilling prophecy by constantly questioning her
decision.
Yeah. Now, I can't remember if it was last week or the week before or 2 weeks ago when one of you talked about Justin and Alexis seeing commitment the same way. And it was obvious that they did not. Yeah. But it was commitment nevertheless that had Justin just accepted where she is in her yes. And she said for her, commitment was time.
Right.
I need time to see where you are with this and whether it's going to be the same thing as it's been for the last 6 weeks or 7 weeks since the honeymoon, since they moved in together and had the dog situation, or not. Yeah. And for him, it was commitment to the marriage. So definitely saw commitment differently. If you see commitment differently, it'd be very hard to make that work.
Yeah.
But he went back into his head.
Yeah, and he's again referencing the book. Love is a commitment. It's a decision. It's not necessarily a feeling. Ultimately, you feel good about it, but being committed to someone is that demonstration of love, good, bad, or indifferent. It's a commitment. You decide to be in that decision. And that's what Alexis did. She decided to be in the relationship and move forward in it. Whereas he wanted to feel a certain way by what she said, what she said. Evidently, he didn't feel the way she said it. It was enough for him. And that, ooh,
Yeah, that really got under your skin.
it does. It really does. I mean, because again, I feel for her because she made a decision to put her effort, to go forward with her effort from wherever she was
with
at
him.
that point. With him. Yeah.
With him, because he kept saying, I don't feel like she's ready to be married to me.
And his whole situation was that he felt she was just going to eventually quit. And he kept asking her to the point where she said, well, okay, yeah, I do quit. Because evidently what I'm saying ain't enough for you. So, okay, I'm done.
And then it was, see?
Yeah, she quit. See?
You did exactly what I was scared you were going to do.
No, you've been scared from the whole time.
Not that I created that path for you to get on.
Really?
But, see, you did it. You did exactly what I was scared you were going to do.
I'm a prophet now.
So.
By yourself.
But you said something very interesting when he was saying his yes. And that is, everything that he said was
what she was to him and how she made him feel and what she could do for him, as in she helped him grow and she helped him realize certain things about himself, never indicating to her what she was to him. And
or what he wanted to be for her.
Yes, exactly. That because that to me that's what makes it a partnership. That's what makes it feel for the other person that she's a part of this relationship. And I get the feeling, even though Alexis was great with words, that was one thing that she never really indicated that was a requirement for her. But I don't think there's a woman on the face of the planet that doesn't want to be affirmed. And he gave her none, which...
And that was a good observation.
Yeah, that probably irritated me more than anything, because again, she allowed him, she grew him, and there were certain revelations that he found within himself through his relationship with her. And hopefully there's some women that'll benefit from that. It just won't be her, unfortunately. But maybe fortunately, because she would have had to work even more harder just for him to get to where he needed to be. It just won't be with her, unfortunately.
Yeah. So
I was wrong, because that was my pick from pick one.
Yeah, and it was a bummer for the whole thing to end on that note. Yeah. And she apologized for blindsiding him like that, but
she was tired.
Yeah, and I have said in our personal conversation while the show was going on that I saw a lot of us in them, particularly because I'm a very, strong woman, opinionated. I don't have any problem speaking my mind, although I think I tend to be more tactful in the right situations. And Alton is more sensitive than the stereotypical average man.
Because I'm not average.
Right. But what he is that I don't see in Justin is secure in himself. And everything is not based on feelings.
True.
And Alton does not sit in his head and create his own narratives that he bases his decisions on. So, you know.
But don't think that I can't understand where Justin may have been on occasion. But again, once he got to revelation and he realized, really, do I really do it? Yes, you really do that. Okay, once you realize that, well, then it should be an effort to ensure that you don't go back to that place, or you work yourself out of that place so that you can make rash decisions on whatever it is your next step will be.
Make rational decisions.
Rational.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That you don't make rash decisions.
She's the wordsmith.
You make rational decisions.
I just talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so there you go. Yes, no. Done.
Yeah. I mean, yes. And then 20 minutes later,
no.
Did you really mean what you said?
I changed my mind.
No, I did not mean that.
I did, but I don't now.
Yeah, really.
Next couple was Lingel.
Yeah.
And, of course, they stayed together.
Mm-hmm.
And he did a poet's job. And his answering yes. And it made
everybody
both
cry.
Pepper and Cal wipe their eyes.
Yeah.
So, our last couple, Kristen and
Mitch.
Now, when we were watching, and, you know, I asked Al, so what do you think?
I think everybody should say yes.
And then he asked me, what did I think? And I said, I don't really know, but I get the sense that either Mitch is going to say no and Kristen say yes, or Chris is going to say no and Mitch is going to say yes. And they both said no.
Yeah.
And then in the group gathering
after decision day,
as they're sharing with each other their answers, it was interesting how Kristen and Mitch did not explain their no's
the way they explained them at decision
day.
Yeah.
And it left the door open for everyone else to interpret what their no's meant.
What actually Kristen mentioned by having the door ajar.
Yeah.
You know, because that was never necessarily discussed in that terminology. It was that they would remain friends, and if, you know, maybe somewhere down the line they cross paths again, we would see maybe. Because
Kristen made it clear, I'm not going to just be waiting around
and
put my life on hold. And yet, when they were explaining it to the group, that's what the door ajar sounded like,
you know,
and then
she was pining,
and then people started, you know, jumping in with their 2 cents.
Girl, you don't need to be waiting.
And then Alexis asked Mitch the question, and I can understand Mitch in their discussion the next day, saying, you know, he felt attacked that he was the bad guy and everything. But then he once again just kind of went too far.
Yeah.
And Kristen was like, okay, see, so it's done.
So officially the door is closed.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. But I hate that they didn't explain it or express it the same way that they did to the experts.
At decision time.
Yeah.
Because it was just a thing where they both agreed, and Mitch said it first. You deserve more at this time from a husband. And I am just not that person at this time. Yeah. And she agreed. Right. And that was simple. And I think everybody agreed with that.
Exactly.
So, you know, okay, you don't have to give up more of yourself and sacrifice anymore. I don't have to figure out how I need to change just to make this thing what it could be, because I just still don't understand it, because I'm just a loner. So everybody's happy where they are. But then when it got to the group thing, it's like, we can't talk, you know.
And that you know, shows how, and this is also social media, people. You know, those of you who are in relationships and you post on Facebook or Instagram or whatever, yes, it's, you want to present your best foot forward to people. You want to celebrate, you know, the happiness in your lives. Yeah. But to me, when you're doing that and things are not happy, then you're creating you're projecting a false narrative.
Yeah, definitely.
And then when the truth begins to come out, then it looks like
a facade.
Yeah. And that so what I'm saying is when you put stuff out there and you're inviting opinion, because that's what we do when we post on social media. That's even what we do when we are talking and putting our own experience in there. But how you do that, and invite opinions in from people who know nothing about your context, know nothing about your history, know nothing about you really as the complex humans that we are, because all we're seeing is what's being presented, then you cannot have a full opinion. And so, while the group sessions were good in that they were all experiencing the same process, people are different. And, to give your 2 cents in, because Lindy was really going in on girl, shut it, deadbolt it, lock it up, deadbolt it, be done.
Yeah. Well,
I don't really think that's your place to say.
Yeah, really.
Even if you feel that way. And then when they were talking to the producer's cameras afterward, and she was like, "Oh, Mitch just, he just talks to hear himself talk." Again, part of that is why I think we've tried to be intentional about not going in on the people,
individuals,
because we are not seeing the whole picture.
True.
But talking about the issues and the behavior that has been displayed. And so, I was sad that their whole reasons for saying no were somewhat misconstrued within the group setting. But there you go. And we'll see at the reunion, there's always a chance that anyone who said yes may have also decided no.
Say no.
Because...
And who knows, maybe somebody that decided to say no decided, well, let's try again.
I don't think we've ever seen that happen.
No, we haven't.
We haven't seen that. So there's always a first time.
But I think something happened that we might hear about later on.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. So, decision day, there you go. Yes, yes, no, yes, no.
Yes. Oh. Yes, yes. Yes, yes, no. Yes, yes. No, no.
The end.
Yes.
So with that, we will sign off for this week. And I'm sure that we'll have to get on and talk about the reunion show.
Most definitely.
To see what has changed and what hasn't changed, and wrap season 15 up.
Yeah.
And the trailers that they showed for season 16 in January.
Off the jump, things look kind of
whacked.
Yeah.
But we'll see how that plays out.
But please leave your comments, ideas, thoughts, even to not only what we say, but what you saw. And, whether we agree, disagree, it's good for discussion, and diving into relationships and seeing how we can even improve our own. Because I'm always looking to try to improve things.
That's why we have the book.
Yes.
So, until next week in the reunion show, love yourselves.
And each other.
Bye.
Peace.